Shalom, Koholol, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us his truth. In the spirit and the power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, I'm Shaquat, back with another lesson. Lord willing, is edifying to the hopeful elect. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barakatham, to you sincere Hakim Walkwath, and a sincere shalom to you brothers out here pushing this truth out in the highways and the byways. And through these YouTube lessons, man, shalom to you all. Lord willing, this will be edifying, right? So, as you see by the title of this lesson, Nero 47, speaking in code, you should know who that is. If you don't, it's Babylon's king at the moment. All right, the king of Babylon, king of America right now. All right. The fat potato, the fat tomato, tomato potato, the fat tomato, all right, stout president. It says Nero 47 believes he can upset prophecy. Nero 47 believes he will upset prophecy, and as we all know, nobody's gonna upset the prophecy, because when the Lord sets something in motion, it's it. That's what it is. Nobody can throw it off his course. The scriptures say in the book of 2nd Esdras, we're going to grab that actually. And then I'm going to pull up the article. And I'm not going to play a video of him saying it, but he did say it on video. I've seen it too. Brothers posted, but I have an article that End Time Headlines posted. I like to say fair use under the Fair Use Copyrights Act of 1976. Any external information that I use in this video outside of the scriptures is going to be used for educational purposes only, right? So it says right here, 2nd Esdras 16 and verse 1, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair, bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. All right, so the destruction of the nations are at hand. All right, the destruction of the nations are at hand. The nations. Notice I'm saying the nations, because everybody's going to be placed out of power. Everybody's going to be put out of power after this great world war, right? Now, who's the one that's going to be utterly destroyed and never inhabited again? That's going to be America, all right? But other places, they're going to be destroyed in the sense of they're going to be stripping of their power also when Yahushua returns. It says, a sword is sent upon you, all right, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when he hath begun to burn? When it hath begun to burn? All right? May one turn away, or so like you turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? All right, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? All right, he shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten in power at his presence? All right, and there you have it. Oh, well, let's keep going. The earth quaketh. And I'm going to read that in a second. So what we've read so far, you should have an understanding now that when Yahweh, all right, through his only begotten son, Yahushua, when they set prophecy in motion, nobody can turn back prophecy, right? Nobody can turn the dial on prophecy. You know, once it's set, that's it. It's done. Prophecy will be fulfilled. And once it's set, crossing the street here, so just bear with me. And once prophecy is set, it's done. That's what it is. You can't stop prophecy, even though Esau is going to try. He's going to try his hardest, his damnness to stop the prophecies. He will not be able to. We just read about it. And it says in verse 12, the earth quaketh at the foundations thereof. Why is the earth going to quake? Well, because those nuclear missiles are going to be shot off throughout the four corners. It's going to utterly destroy Babylon, and it's not going to be inhabited, and it's going to utterly destroy Israel. Then you're going to have, but Israel's going to be inhabited again. It's going to be rebuilt. But all these other places, they may be touched too. Some other places are going to be touched by nukes, and some other places aren't going to be touched by nukes, and they're going to be affected though. There's going to be an effect of it. So when you see the earthquake and the foundations thereof, that's going into the effect of those nuclear missiles being shot. The earth is going to quake. What does it say in the book of Revelation? I may grab that. The mountains are going to be moved out of their place. Right? The mountains are going to be moved out of their place. The sea ariseth up in waves from the deep. So you're going to have hurricanes and tidal waves going on due to the nuclear missiles. But this guy said he's going to stop this from happening. You can't stop this prophecy from taking place. It says, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. For strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot at the ends into the ends of the world. Now, America is also considered the ends of the world, because when you start from the east, right? When you go west and you continue going west and you get to the Americas, if you continue westward, you end right back up in the east, right? So the Americas is the ends of the world. That's what it is, you know? So these nukes are going to be mainly shot over here. And they're not going to miss. It tells you why these earthquakes and tidal waves and all this is going to happen. Hurricanes, because of the nuclear missiles. Right? It's simply because of the nukes. That's why this is going to take place the way it is. Right? So there's no stopping prophecy. There's no stopping prophecy. It says, so I'm going to read on to 16 and I'm going to go to a different scripture. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again. Right? The plagues are sent and they're not going to be turned again. All right. It says, until they come upon the earth, the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. All right. Till it consume the foundation of the earth. It says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. All right. So when these things come to pass, Salakia, when these things are set in motion, they're going to come to pass no matter what you try to do. You can't upset the prophecy. Esau spent billions on top of billions of dollars to upset the prophecy of the Israelites being awoken. But look at us. Look at us now. We're awakening, man. The Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So this shows you, no matter what you try, no matter what you do, you cannot upset the prophecies. Right? It's not possible. All right? So when you go over here, let's take a turn. Let's go to the book of Revelation, the ninth chapter. It says the fifth trumpet, the bottomless pit. Revelation 9:1. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Right? So what is this bottomless pit speaking about? It's also mentioned in Revelation 11, I believe, and Revelation 20. This bottomless pit is talking about over there in Europe. That's the bottomless pit. It says, and that is where World War I took place. I can prove it. It's a simple Google search away. Where did World War I take place? Simple Google search away. It said World War I was a global conflict that took place primarily in Europe. but also extended to the Middle East, Africa, and parts of Asia, which is true, but it was primarily in Europe. You see, so this is talking about World War One. Yeah, people don't even know World War One is in the Bible. It says, there came out of the smoke a locust upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. Now, what is this locust talking about? All right, it's talking about those F-1 fighter jets, those World War One fighter jets. I've never been this close to a squirrel. What up, bro? You nigga staring at me. What up, bro? I've never been that close to a squirrel. I'll never let me get that close to him. Oh, damn near eye level, face with him. It's a lot, yeah. That was just pretty cool. I never let it. A squirrel has never let me get that close. What the hell? That was pretty cool. It looked funny. Anyway, those locusts are talking about fighter jets. Right, that was the best way that John the Revelator, Apostle John, could describe it. Let's do this. I'm gonna type in a locust. I'm gonna show you what a locust look like first. I'm gonna show you what the fighter jets look like to show you that's what it's talking about. So locust, it comes from that grasshopper family. All right, and these are actually clean insects to eat. You can eat a locust. Me personally, I pray the Lord never put me in a situation to have to eat that. I don't give a fuck if it's clean. I don't want to eat that shit. So I hope the Lord don't ever put me in that situation. But it's actually a clean food to eat, and it's actually very nutritious for you. Even though it's not comely and it doesn't seem pleasant to eat, it's still very nutritious, and you can eat it because it's clean. John Baptist, who was Elijah, who was also Elder Abba Bivens, they ate locusts. They ate it with honey. All right, the scriptures say that. All right. So there you go. This is what a locust look like. See it? Now you have a good depiction on a locust. There's many different forms of a locust. Now, see, this is why John the Revelator called them locusts. World War One fighter planes. Slovakia, stay in the browser. Now, doesn't this look like a locust? Does this not look like a locust? Does this not look like what I just pulled up to you? Further proof that this is talking about the F-1 fighter jets. Those fighter jets from World War One. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, and it says, oh yeah, Salakia, and it says as the scorpions. So they were described as locusts, and they were described as scorpions. They were also described as scorpions. I knew I was missing a point. I was trying to figure out what other point I was trying to make with this. They were described as scorpions. Look at the tail of this fighter jet. Fuck you, Esau. Look at the tail of that fighter jet. Now that kind of looks like the tail of a scorpion. So the front 3/4 of it, 2/3 of it looks like a locust. Then you have that back, the tail. It looks like a scorpion's tail. Proof of that, well, a simple Google search once again. Scorpion. Look at the tail. See, the scriptures don't lie, man. So this is a depiction of World War One. When you go back up, it says, and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of the Most High in their foreheads. Right, and it says, and to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it. Now, we oftentimes use this scripture to depict how bad Jacob's trouble is going to get, because this is how bad Jacob's trouble is going to get. But this is really talking about World War One, Salakia. This is really talking about World War One, because it got so brutal. It got so brutal in World War One. You know, that was old school, hardcore, y'all up in each other's face type war. You know, that was before they had all the atomic bombs and shit. You know, it was a more like up in your face type of war. It wasn't like how you war today, how you would mainly war today. It's a little different, you know. It says, so men in those days, men shall seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die. and death shall flee from them. And you have a lot of those men come back from war. At that time, they came back from war with PTSD, and they kind of in their mind wish they just died off in the war. Now they got to live with all that trauma that they've incurred upon during the war. And it says, and the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses. Horses just represent power, so they were very powerful. Prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men, right? They were as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth was as the teeth of lions. Now, I'm going to skip down. Well, I'm about to make the point. And they had breastplates as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. So it was a lot of them. And they had tails like unto scorpions. So that was the point I was trying to make, Salakia. The scorpion part up top was not the point concerning the tail of the plane. But now you see the point. I knew it was going. I had a feeling like, man, am I missing it? There it is. Tails like unto scorpions, and we already went over that. All right. And there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. Right. And it says, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek, his name is Apollyon. One woe is past, so that first war is past. And behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So that first world war passed, and then 2 more wars came afterwards. And then when you keep reading up, it gets into World War III. All right, it gets into World War III. So I'm sure the people, these Edomites, thought that they could stop World War I. All right, they thought that they could stop World War I, not realizing the Lord put the spirit on the elites, because they're the ones that control the wars on earth. The Lord put the spirit on the elites to bring this stuff to pass anyway. So I'm sure other presidents thought they could stop war from happening if they were so-called smart about it. But at the end of the day, that's not going to happen, right? When you go to Revelation 11, and I need to pull up this picture. I still ain't pulled up the article. Forgive me. All right, from End Time Headlines, Trump said, we're not going to have a World War III. If we're smart, there will never be a World War III. And the thing is, as Apostle Tahar keeps saying in his videos concerning this, the thing is, you're not going to be smart. You're going to do something very stupid. You're not going to be smart. So that's why World War III is still going to take place regardless. You're going to do something very dumb, as you're doing now. You're placing 500% tariffs on China. How does this help America? Because it damn sure is not hurting China. So how is this helping America? It's very stupid. You know, it's very stupid. You know, very. Let's go back to these precepts. Start at verse 12, 11, Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So this is talking about Yahushua saying, come up hither in the Hebrew tongue, right? To the elect. And the elect are going to be taken into chariots in the heavens. All right? Because that's the cloud. The cloud is talking about the chariots. All right? And it says, and their enemies beheld them. So they're just going to watch. They're going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation, as pursuant to Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 2. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, All right, like it said in 2nd Ezra 16, right? And we know where that earthquake is coming from now. And the 10th part of the city fell. All right, now what is the 10th part? It says that because America is made up of 10 FEMA zones. It's kind of hard to find that information now, but America, if you do enough thorough research, you're gonna find that America is made up of 10 FEMA zones. All right, and through that, we believe this is not scriptural. This is not doctrine. All right, so nobody come around saying we're false prophets if it doesn't happen this way, because we're not saying this is prophecy. We're simply speaking as men concerning this matter. We're simply speaking as men. But we do believe to an extent that maybe since it's 10 FEMA zones, it says the 10th part of the city fell. We believe that maybe America's going to do some negotiating with the nations to try to stop them from shooting nukes on them. Now, I believe that they're going to try to do some negotiations, right? And the negotiations are going to just fall through each and every time. Right, they're gonna keep falling through, and then they're gonna boom, drop one on the northeast of America, negotiate, boom, drop one on, you know how I go, right? That's what we believe. That's why we think it says that. This is not doctrine, so we're not preaching false doctrine. This is what we think is meant. Could be wrong. And it says, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. All right, so in this World War III, 7,000 men will be slain. Now, does this mean literally just 7,000? No, it means seven is the number of completion. All right, that's the number of completion. So it means there's going to be a complete total death here in America. Trump, you can't stop this type of prophecy. How can you turn this type of prophecy away? Salakia for all the noise, I'm walking. But how can you turn this type of prophecy away, Donald? How? It makes no sense. The answer to that is you can't, my nigga. You can't. Right? And it says the second woe is past, because it doesn't really go into the Second World War at all. But this was a representation of the third one. It says, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So the third World War passed, and the Second World War passed, and this third World War is coming very quickly. All right, and there's no way to stop this. All right, as we keep reading, you cannot turn back the dial on prophecy. Prophecy is going to happen regardless. No turning back the dial on it. You know, even though this guy believes he can, and that's prophecy. The Lord is supposed to put the spirit on his devil to believe he has more power than he really does. That's prophecy, you know. So it's no shocker. Salakia. Oh fuck. Yeah, there's no stopping this from happening. All right, no stopping World War III. All right, because this is in the prophecy to happen. Let me get Revelation 14. I believe that's where it's at. If it's not 14, then it's 16. Yeah. 14 and 16. So this is Revelation 16 and 13. It says Armageddon. Now what Armageddon means is a gathering of the troops. In the Hebrew, it's Harmagad one. All right, Harma means gathering. God means troop, like the tribe of Gad, ultimately. And it says, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. Now, as we know, that dragon is talking about the Roman Empire. All right, which is now the modern day revived Roman Empire, which is what? NATO in the EU. The 7 heads, which is NATO in the EU, which are the 10 horns. And it says, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth, because the dragon and the beast are the same thing. And out of the mouth of the false prophet. Now, this is where people get confused. Those Christians get confused often because they be like, see, it's one false prophet. No, it's not. No, the false prophet is just America, that beast, ultimately. But you can also say it's America. There is no one false prophet. There are many antichrists. There are many false prophets. All right? And it says, but they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth. Now, what are those three unclean spirits? Those three unclean spirits, you have, there's three of them. You have the Roman, over there in Rome, which is Vatican City. All right, that's where they house their religious power and structure. And then you have, London, which is where they house their financial structure and power. And then you have DC, which is where they house their military structure and power. Those are the three unclean spirits. All right, and it says, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of their great day of God Almighty, which is Al-Shadia, power Almighty. Who's that? Yahweh. And it says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth. And we're the ones watching, man. So blessed is us. Lord willing, we be at that number. We're watching. We are the watchmen. Right? And it says, and Yahweh Shai is going to come as a thief, in his own words. And keepeth his garments, meaning keep doing what you're supposed to do. Hold post. Lest he walk naked and they see his shame. All right, we don't want to be walking in iniquity. All right, yeah, we're gonna have to deal with Yahweh Shai, and I don't want to do that. So do what you're supposed to do. And it says in verse 16, here's the point that I wanted to gather. It says, and he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Armageddon in the Hebrew tongue. All right, he gathered them to a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. All right, which is the gathering of the troops, as I referenced earlier. All right, so how are you going to stop this, Donald? You can't stop this from happening. This will take place. I'm going to get another one. It's so many going into World War III. I mean, I'm not even going to be able to hit all the scriptures. I might just end it on this one because it's so many scriptures going into World War III. You can't. Goddamn, it's going to be like a 3-hour-long lesson. Really, if I went into everything, how are you going to stop this, Donald? Honestly, I wonder, right? So it says, the nations will be judged. We're going to start down here, up here, Joel 3:1. For behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. So we are going to be in captivity together. All right, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which in the Hebrew, in the proper way to say it, would be Yahweh Shaphat, which means Yahweh's judgment. All right, and it says, and will plead, and where is that at? Over there in the east. All right. And it says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, because of what all the nations have done against us. Now they got to pay. All right. And it says, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. So once again, you have another scripture going into us being scattered in the diaspora. What do you Christians not get? And you Israelites who say it's only blacks, it's blacks only. What do y'all not get? It says, and have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. All right, meaning sold a boy, all right, to get, and so they sold us to get harlots. All right, they sold a boy for an harlot. They sold Israelite little children and little boys to get hoes, basically, so they could fuck hoes. And they sold little girls, right, just so they could drink wine. This is the value that they saw us at, that the heathens saw in us. Basically, they saw us as valueless, which is vanity, vain things, but they're gonna pay for that because we're above the heathen. We're better than you, man. But we're seen as we're worse than the heathen, but we're better. We're better than you, but we're treated as we're worse. We're less than somehow. That's a part of the curses. I'm gonna skip down. A lot of this is good. It speaks about how the Hamites helped us go into captivity and stuff, but I want to go to the point. Says Joel 3:9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the heathens. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So how are you going to upset this prophecy, Donald Trump? You know, a question of sincerity. How will you upset this prophecy? You can't. That's the answer to it. You won't and you can't. All right, you can't and you won't and you won't and you can't. You can't and you won't and you won't and you can't. You can't upset this prophecy, Donald. Right? This is going to take place whether you want it to or whether you don't. This prophecy is going to take place. All right? And like I said, there's 1,000,001 scriptures I can get concerning this World War III. This guy really believes he can upset the prophecies. And I'm sorry, it's going to get very loud, so Salakia in advance. All right? But you can't upset the prophecies. I'm going to get this one that I haven't brought out in a while. St. Peter. What is it? Nah, this ain't it. Can't think of it. I haven't brought it out in so long. I know it's in the book of Peter. Oh, yeah, I know what it is. Elements melt. Yep. Like I said, Salakia. I'm going to end it on this scripture. Got my ass up earlier when there was nobody out here. It's all right. It's all right. As I was saying, the 2 Peter 3:10, it say a new heaven and a new earth, all right? A new heaven and earth. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, which we know, and the scriptures continue to reiterate this. And he's going to come as a thief in the night when people least expect it. Now, it's not going to be a thief to the elect, but it's going to be a thief to the heathen in 2/3, because they're not watching. In which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. What's that great noise? It's talking about, and what's that heaven? Does it mean heaven literally gonna fall out of the fucking air? No. This is talking about Esau's rulership is gonna pass away with the great noise. Esau's rulership is. Now, what is that great noise talking about? It's talking about World War III. It's talking about when the nukes detonate. Right? It's talking about when the nukes detonate. That's the great noise. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. All right, what is fervent heat? It's very fucking hot. It's very hot. All right, and what are elements? Elements is everything. Look around. If whatever you see is a fucking element. All right, you're an element. So let's talk about the people also. Trees, concrete, everything's made up of elements that the Lord has given us. So everything is gonna melt with fervent heat, with super hot fire. Super hot fire. The earth also, and remember, note this up, it's going to be very, think about it. When you go to Revelation 9 and 16, it states that the horses are going to be 2,000,000 or 200,000,000. Now, when you take 200,000 and you multiply that by 1,000, you get 200 million. So 200 million nuclear warheads are going to be shot on America alone. This is 200 million nuclear warheads we're talking about. This is why it's going to be fervent heat. And that's alone is going to be shot on America. These 200 million aren't even including the ones that get shot over there on Israel. And it's not even including the ones that America and Israel shoot back off at the other nations. It's not even including that. It's talking about 200 million just for America's dome top. So yeah, it's going to be fervent, very hot heat. Right? And it says, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So how should you carry yourself in these days, knowing that these things are going to come to pass? Should you be one of those lazy Israelites who don't do their lessons? They never ever study, right? They always got an excuse to not do the work and not go to camp. You're going to be one of those lackadaisical motherfuckers. You sisters, you're going to be one of those punk-ass, fake, bitch-ass Israelite women. And if you're not, I'm not talking to you in this manner, but I'm saying, are you going to be one of those? Or are you going to be a sincere sister? You're going to be one of those Israelite women who are all acting like they're part of this truth, and then they go home to their husband and they go treat his ass like shit. They go treat him like dirt. Right? Are you going to be one of those? You'll treat your husband like shit, always giving that man hell? Or are you going to be a sincere sister and you're going to try your best to be the best wife, and if you're a mother, be the best mother that you can be? Which one is it? Listen to you sisters out there, brief message. No matter how hard your life seems to be, even if it seems like it's harder than your husband at a certain moment, I promise you it's not. It's not. Okay? It's not. Anyway, going back to the point. Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens, being on fire, all right, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. All right, so there you have it. How are you going to stop this stuff, DJT? How are you going to stop this? I got one more for you. Heavens scroll. This is Isaiah 34:4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down. Right? All their hosts shall fall down, and the leaf falleth off, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from a fig tree. All right, so the heavens shall be dissolved. It's like the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. When you look at a nuclear mushroom cloud, that perfectly depicts this precept right here. It looks like a scroll that's rolled together, and it's high up in the sky. So it's talking about the nuclear mushroom cloud, the mushroom cloud that the nukes are gonna make. And then it says, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. If you ever seen or heard or even felt a fig fall off of a fig tree, it fucking hit hard as hell, man. And the nukes gonna hit hard as a motherfucker, man. The nukes gonna hit, man. Them nukes are tons on top of tons on top of tons. It's gonna put damage on this place. It's gonna do great damage, you know? Now, I'm gonna end it off there. I could go all day going into the nukes. I love going into World War III. I love going into World War III. I love it. Because that means when World War III happens, it's officially done. It's done. We're going to be taken up into chariots. Lord willing, we have that number. I love talking about the nukes, man. I love it. Hell, we could have even stayed in Revelation the whole time, because there was stuff I didn't even get to in Revelation concerning nukes. Trump, you can't stop prophecy. in so much that in Revelation 17 and 16, your own allies are going to turn against you. Therefore, this should show you, you absolutely have no control over prophecy. The guy said, there will be no World War III. If we're smart about it, there won't be World War III ever. Yeah, that's not going to happen. And the thing is, you're not going to be smart about it. You've been moving dumb as fuck ever since you got back into office in January. You've been moving slow. And you haven't accomplished anything that you said you would accomplish in this time of you being in office. So whoopty fucking doo-doo, Donald Trump is through. America is through. And that's the facts. Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, all honor, and infinite glory to our power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth in the spirit of power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. And until next time, Abba Ball, Kwam Yasharallah, Gadol Abadium, Lababal Hagadol, Yahweh Mahar.